Yield to the ranking member from California.
Thank you, Chairman. And I would have let you go on as long as you wanted to. You were doing extremely well. Mr. Liddy, I'm going to pick up where the Chairman left off because I think he's on the right track. Did you share this project in its entirety with individuals working for the New York Fed or Treasury?
Yes, we did.
And was that in camera, and if so, how did you make that determination that what you shared with them was not going to be shared with your competitors?
Well, the Federal Reserve is present at every one of our strategic discussions, at all of our board meetings and all of our committee meetings.
No, I appreciate what you're saying, but let me move to the point. The point is, they're not stockholders. They're sitting as members of the board, members of your executive committee. They're operating your company in the sense that they're insiders. I sit on the board of a public company even today. I'm very familiar with the fact that what you're telling us you can't give us, and you did tell us you couldn't give it to us because you said you'd give us the broad brush, the overview. Basically, you said, I won't share with you what I'm sharing with the Treasury. I'm going to ask you in a different way. I know you're going to talk to your lawyers, and Mr. Boggs back there is about the best in town, so maybe you just reach over your shoulder when you get a chance. Will you, given the same protections from disclosure to your competitors, make available to Congress the information? I understand the information is insider information, and people who have access to it need to understand they can't trade in the stock, they can't do other investments. Given those assurances, will you make that available to designated people from Congress?
Congressman, I will talk to my lawyer.
Tommy's shaking his head no.
So at some point in time, and he'll tell me what we can and cannot do and what we should and should not do. So,
Mr. Chairman, can we suspend for a moment to give him a chance to talk to counsel?
Be delighted to do so.
Thank you.
yes.
May continue.
Congressman, there is commercially sensitive material in there. My attorney advises me we will work with you to provide everything that we possibly can. The material that goes to the Fed or Treasury goes pursuant to a confidentiality agreement, and what we are concerned about is if it goes to Congress, does it give free access to our competitors? If we can find a solution to that,
and I appreciate that, so I'll rephrase the question for counsel. Assuming that we provide for in-camera, for lack of a better term, review by individuals who have signed on to the confidentiality agreement a limited amount, not Congress as a whole, are you prepared to turn over to this committee's designated people for their evaluation? And we would presume that we'll probably have knowledgeable people outside this. The answer is yes?
Yes. Again, exactly the way you worded it, as long as we can get assurances that it doesn't go beyond that group.
Okay, well, the Chairman and I, I'm sure, will work together to find a way to make that happen, because it is important that this branch of government have the same transparency as the other branch of government currently has on your government-owned entity. Let me just go through one or two more quick things. If I read the arithmetic roughly right, 80% of your company was bought for $40 billion by converting preferred to common. Is that roughly right?
Yes, except then another $30 billion, or just under $30 billion, is available if we need it. So you need to decide whether you want to include that in the calculation or not.
But that would further dilute the stock.
Well, it would keep the ownership at 80%.
Okay, so
you don't go above the 79.9.
Okay, so getting to market, if we will, what is the current value of your stock as an enterprise, your market cap?
It would be approximately $5 to $6 billion.
So we spent $40 billion, agreed to spend $70 billion to buy $5 billion.
Well, it's $5 billion plus what it can be worth at the end if the Project Destiny execution goes well and the marketplace cooperates.
But you're a publicly traded company, so you're worth what you're worth on a given day. You're classic mark-to-market justification. You're worth $5 billion today. If I went into the market to buy, I wouldn't have to pay $30 billion to get no more. I wouldn't have to pay $70 billion to get 79%. I would pay a fraction of that if I bought into the other side of the equation. Is that right?
Yes, the company is worth, as you say, the company is worth about $5 to $6 billion.
Okay. Additionally, and it's the last point I'll make on the finances, the government lowered your rate to LIBOR plus 1 roughly, or no, LIBOR plus 3. You're 3.5%, 4% cost of money on a big part of what the government's loaned you. Is that right?
Yes.
So the government is making money because we borrow for less than that, but that's commercially, what, less than half of what you would normally, in your financial condition, borrow at. Is that right?
Yes, I don't know whether half is the right number, but it's substantially less than what the rate would be if we were trying to borrow on our own.
BB&T's preferreds now are trading at par at 9%. So, right. You know, you're getting about half that.
Yes,
so the government is not
less.
losing money on the loan, but in fact you're getting a preferential treatment, which hopefully comes back in the stock.
Correct.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, I hope we have a second round, but I beg your
We will.
thank you.